Welcome back to the Fruitful 3 Show. We're your host, Levi and Isaiah. This is episode 2. Today we're covering the NFL and I guess old news.
I would call it old news.
So old.
No. So, when we first started this, we were trying to figure out what to all cover, and I said, well, if we did like some of the off-season drama.
I guess you did say that.
There was some things that went on during the off-season that caused analysts and TV shows to cancel certain TV shows and to fire certain personnel. And so I was like, ooh, it'd make a good topic.
All right. For those who are new to this podcast, we talk about a wide variety of subjects, bringing value and fruits to your life. As the NFL is one of the biggest things that people obsess about, that's adding value. So we're covering off-season drama and kickoffs and rules and all sorts of things. Some Chiefs and Ravens because Levi's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Ravens fan. So
yeah, and while you were talking about obsession, I understand we're going to get into this topic a little bit later, but as of right now, the whole world is currently obsessed around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement.
Yep. All right. So let's kick this off. Fall is only... Oh, I need to start this. Fall is only 3 weeks away. Make sure you stay cool and warm because it's all over the place in the Midwest and in Nebraska. But anyway, this fall season with many products from iceentertainment.net/drip. It has everything to offer. Everything con-based for comfortability and promoting eco-friendly choices.
Yeah, buddy.
And as you can see in the middle, that's our new season 3 shirt design logo for the...
You just can't stay with one logo, can you, buddy?
No, I get an idea. Well, it's like I kind of keep it, but then it's like I like making stuff, okay?
Don't worry. I have a few ideas for my non-profit that I've been working on too. So I totally get the whole idea of trying to change it and keep things fresh.
I tinker a lot. Before we kick it off with new rules, let us know, join the conversation. Tag us in your post or comment on Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube. Who is your favorite team? We already mentioned ours. What do you think your team's record will be this year, Levi? What do you think the Chiefs will rank?
I don't actually know. And the reason I say I don't know is, one, the AFC West is by far the toughest division in NFL football right now. And with Pete Carroll now going to the Raiders, that team just got a lot more serious. You have Sean Payton still with the Denver Broncos. And then, was it John? No, it's Jim.
Yeah, there you go.
I know it takes me a little bit. I'm so used to him being in Michigan still. And then you got Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. So, and they're all improved teams. And obviously, if you listen to anybody, this is the Chiefs' year where the dynasty ends. But in all honesty, I don't think the dynasty ends. I think we'll at least win our 8th straight AFC West championship. So
I think the Ravens are going to finally win an AFC championship.
Yeah, what are you, AFC North?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always win that. I mean,
really, who do the Steelers have? Aaron Rodgers. Cincinnati's like falling apart.
In Cleveland, they have Joe.
But no,
Flacco.
you got Shadir Sanders. He is him. He's gonna bring Cleveland back on the map.
He's not even starting.
Oh, but if you have Skip Bayless, he is him, and he needs to start, and he would bring Cleveland a Super Bowl. And
no.
Sorry, Skip. Come after me if you want. Look, we can go around.
Join the convo or start the convo. And who is your prediction for the Super Bowl? I'm going Lions and Ravens just because I'm biased.
This is gonna sound really, really bad and really, really repetitive, but I could actually see it being Chiefs and Eagles again. Like, ultimately, the two teams I wouldn't mind seeing in there: a Lions and Bills Super Bowl.
Won't be bad, but I'd rather replace the Bills with the Ravens.
Yeah. What I'm just saying is, like, I mean, you look at the Eagles, and they haven't really lost anybody, and they've gotten kind of a little bit younger and stuff too. So if they can keep the momentum from last year, I would not be surprised to see them in there. And the reason I'm going Chiefs is not only, like, one, being a Chiefs fan, but two, they got completely annihilated in the Super Bowl last year. So to me, is they have a fire lit up in their ass right now, under their ass, and I believe that is going to make them determined to at least make it to a Super Bowl and try to. Plus, we all know it's probably Travis Kelce's last year too, and he wants to go off on a high note.
All right, let's kick this off with new rules. Levi has some notes he'd like to share, but we have a new onside kick flexibility. Teams can now attempt an onside kick at any point during the game if they are trailing, not just the fourth quarter as before.
Like, okay, so the notes that I have on the whole onside kick is, so my notes actually have percentage in here. So it's teams that are behind on scoreboard can now execute an onside kick at any point in the game. They must notify the referee beforehand. Players on the kicking team line up 1 yard closer, front foot on the restraining line, aiming to bump recovery rates above the historically low 6% from 2024 to hopefully 10 to 12%. So that is why they are doing that.
Interesting. We now have touchback spot adjustment. Every kick that results in a touchback, either downed in the end zone or going out of bounds, the ball will now be placed at the 35-yard line. Where was it placed last year? Wasn't it the 30-yard line? Or
I think it's the 30.
It was the 30. So they moved it up 5 more yards. That, woohoo. This is just getting like child play kind of.
It's not even.
It's like, it's not even football, it's sandbox football.
Like, I get the whole point of them doing this because they're trying to make things more entertaining, and they're trying to protect players. I mean, granted, I understand this rule isn't a protection rule, but we've had the last few years, there's been a lot of rules that came out to try to protect players, which one of them we'll get into, which is the tush push later on. I understand that they're trying to change the game to make it more entertaining and protect players, but at the same time, you got to draw the line somewhere, because eventually this is going to turn into flag football, and it's going to probably look as dumb as the Pro Bowl does now. And at that point, I think you lose all viewership, besides your Swifties, because they want to know a single difference. Come at me. I'll take it.
Wow, geez. Just roast everyone.
I will.
Expanded instant replay assistance. I believe Levi has some notes on this one. The league has broadened replay capabilities to include more situations. But it's still gonna, I believe it's with AI. Is it not? As
He said, instant replay enhancements?
Yeah.
The broadcast replay system has been enhanced. Replay officials can now help correct more objective fouls like face masks, tripping, roughing the kicker, or forcible contact to the head, neck, if there's clear and obvious video evidence. So basically they can redo the USFL has used a system the last few years, so there's a main referee inside the press box somewhere, and he is constantly checking the game to make sure there's no missed calls. The NFL is starting to move a lot more towards AI. As of right now, you'll notice there will be like cameras and drones and stuff as we'll move on to the next subject, and we'll talk more about that with like your first downs. So they're starting to use drones and everything. So I believe that not only is it going to be like the Hawkeye system, but I believe these drones are going to be able to like catch certain things that this ref in the press box is going to catch, and like be able to radio down like, hey, we missed this call, watch this guy, this is what's going on. That's kind of what I've read on it, at least.
Next up, Levi skipped one, but we have overtime format improvements. The NFL is aligning regular season overtime with playoff rules by ensuring both teams get a possession, which is only fair, I believe. They're also exploring a potential extension of the overtime period to 15 minutes.
As of right now, it has not been confirmed that they're moving to 15 minutes. It is still a 10-minute period, but like Isaiah just said, is they're currently in talks of that, so don't be surprised. In all honesty, I would not be surprised if somehow by playoff time they pull that off. Just for playoff period. But like I said, as of right now, it has yet to be confirmed.
Now we're on to the first down measurement technology. The highly accurate Hawkeye virtual measuring system will now be used for determining first downs, with the traditional chain gang retained as a backup. This is what they've been using in the preseason, right?
Yeah. So I took like the three pros and the three cons of these that during the preseason. So like during the preseason, the pros that they notice is it's a lot faster and it's more efficient on first down calls. Hawkeye reduces measurement time by up to 40 seconds, cutting down delays and keeping the game moving more smoothly. Enhanced accuracy and officiating consistency, utilizing 6 ultra-high resolution 8K, okay, so it's 6 cameras per stadium. The system offers pinpoint accuracy in determining whether the ball has reached the line to gain, reducing human error and improving fairness. Improved transparency and fan engagement by displaying animated replays of measurements on stadium screens and broadcasts. Hawkeye adds a visual element that enhances clarity and drama, helping fans and coaches understand decisions instantly. Now, here are the cons, and this is why one of these cons is why I think it's really dumb, but I will let you know that one when we get there. So, mixed fan reception. There is a loss of tradition, like the typical chain gang is no longer there. Many fans and commentators reacted negatively, calling the system lame or garbage, mourning the end of the iconic chain gang tradition and expressing concerns over replacing familiar rituals with technology. Inconsistencies and reliability. Issues during preseason. Early tests revealed delays and awkward pauses. In one preseason matchup, a first down measurement using Hawkeye took significantly longer than anticipated, especially on plays that weren't even close, raising concerns about inefficiency and accuracy under live conditions. Limited scope. So this is the one I'll address on even more. Human spotting still required. Hawkeye doesn't replace human judgment completely. Officials still have to spot the ball manually, and the system only measures whether the ball has crossed the line after that spot. Complex factors like forward progress and player down by contact scenarios remain beyond the tech's current capacity. So we're gonna go back to the whole Bills and Chiefs, what was that, AFC Championship game last year, when Josh Allen thought he got a first down, but it got ruled not being a first down. So the whole reason they are doing this is because they want to try to get better accuracy on first downs, and some of that is really hard to figure out where the ball was, because sometimes you can't see the ball, sometimes it can be just, I mean, like you look at like Josh Allen's last year, there is one, if you look at one side of it, it looks like he's across, but if you look at a different angle, he's not to the line of scrimmage yet. So that is the whole reason they're trying to do this, is they're trying to make it more accurate. But the problem is it still is where the officials have to spot the ball. So even if the officials get it like an inch or two off, the cameras are gonna say, "Hey, you're not at a first down." When if you could watch replay, he might have been closer. So I mean, there's still a human. The whole thing is there's still a human error in this whole thing. Which
Could they put a chip on both ends of the pig skin, like on the inside, and then like I mean like when you like put a chip in the chain gains thing, so when they measure it in the thing, it'll activate and tell you how many centimeters away it is from it.
Or you could do something like that. The downfall that I see with something like that is, let's say it's plain. I mean, anything with technology, we've all dealt with technology. Like our phone will glitch out, or like if you're trying to do something on a computer, there sometimes it'll glitch. And I know a lot of people get frustrated when everybody loves technology when it works perfect, but when technology decides it's not going to work, everybody gets frustrated. With that being said, is you could put a chip in a football. I have no problem with that. But if you obviously can tell that you are like 6 inches away from a first down, but that ball's rating a first down, you kind of just screwed the other team at that point too. Or let's say somehow, I mean, obviously football is a contact sport, so let's say that gets jolted just right. Let's say you're running the football and I go and pop it out, and that hits the ground and it gets jolted, and now it doesn't read properly. Like I said, there's pros to it, but there's also your cons. And no matter what you do, I understand you can hate the refs, you can hate the team, you can all that stuff, but at the end of the day, there's still going to be some sort of human factor played into this, and it ain't going to be perfect. Or even if you go all computer wise, like the scenarios I just pointed out, you're still, as a fan, you're going to be like, come on, dude, that's short. The ball's obviously short. But yeah, they're going to give them a first down because the ball told them a first down. So you just got to kind of...
Also, the pros, they're saying they can save 40 seconds. You're just taking away money from advertisement, Like, come on, man. Not that I like watching advertisement, but you're losing some profit, man.
See, and I know that the USFL has a contract with the NFL, and they're basically the test dummies for a lot of this stuff. But even then, if you watched any of the USFL games, there were clear errors with this. I mean, there were times where you could see the ball was short, and the cameras were saying it was a first down. Like, there's clips out there that show that. So like I said, I don't really know what to tell you guys. It's the way the NFL is going. If you have any questions about it, go watch the previous USFL season, or at least watch a few games and get an idea of how it's supposed to work.
So we have one final, the tush push play review. Despite concerns, the league found no evidence of injuries caused by the Eagles' signature quarterback sneak, so it remains legal.
So I don't think I made any notes on this,
but
which I should have.
This is all coming down because of Tua, right? From Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
With getting concussed.
Concussions, yep.
Yeah.
So, but here's my biggest thing, and you can go into your research, because like I said, I totally forgot to take notes on this. But I don't remember what year it was. I want to say it was like 2012. But the NFL came out and officially banned linebackers from pushing defensive linemen into like A gaps, B gaps, whatever, to get advantage over people. And even on like special teams, they banned it. Like, they don't want you They don't want you jumping over. They don't want you doing none of this because of injuries. With that being said, why is it illegal for the defense and the special teams unit to do something very, very similar to this, but yet the offense, it's okay? Personally, I have nothing against the tush push. Like, the Philadelphia Eagles have figured out how to perfect it. It is part of their signature, and good luck trying to stop it. Like, if you claim it causes injuries on defense and special teams for players to do the same thing, wouldn't you think there's going to be injuries during this too? Like, that's my biggest concern. So either you legalize it on all three phases, or you get rid of it as a grand total. That is where I stand.
No thoughts on it other than I did not know this was even questioned. But I believe defense should have a fair share of stopping the tush push when the tush push is legal.
Yeah.
So it's only fair, dang it.
I mean, if you're gonna have running backs push your quarterback into linemen and stuff, I mean, you should be able to allow your linebackers your DBs to push people into the trenches as well.
Mm-hmm. Then we will move on to season predictions. I really didn't save any of the numbers because that was just a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
And it was more for like betting anyway. So I cut those numbers out.
And I'll be honest with you, as I read through here, and when I saw like notes on some of this stuff, I didn't even look it up. But like some of the stuff that hardly had any notes on it, that was what I was trying to. And
yeah, which is kind of what I wanted you to do. So the ESPN's NFL Nation panel ranks the teams under the most pressure heading into the season. We have the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get into a little bit of that later. The Kansas City Chiefs. Levi already kind of mentioned that, but they're always been so good, so they're gonna deal with it. The Buffalo Bills. They're always under pressure. Come on, man. Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. Is there anything you want to add notes on those?
Like for the Philadelphia Eagles, like a lot of what I've been reading is it is so hard for a team to get back to a Super Bowl after winning one.
Mm.
So, and especially after their performance, it's really hard to capitalize on that. So that is why I think they are under a lot of pressure. The other thing is so Kansas City Chiefs, obviously everybody talks about that being, like I said earlier, the dynasty's over. But my personal opinion is you gotta beat the king you gotta dethrone the king to be the king. So until they get dethroned, I'm not going to worry until they get dethroned. That was just the same way as like the Patriots, back when Patriots were dominant. The Buffalo Bills, obviously everybody thinks Josh Allen is a great quarterback, which I'm not going to deny that. And they always believe that Buffalo is going to be a Super Bowl contender. Their kryptonite is the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. So, like I said earlier, is if you can dethrone the Chiefs, more power to the Bills. Baltimore Ravens, for some odd reason, as much as I love Lamar Jackson, for some odd reason, Lamar struggles in playoffs.
Yeah, it's like the whole team just chokes.
So, I mean, like why they're under... To me, that's why they're under pressure is because... And that's even like Buffalo. Buffalo can have the greatest a great season. Josh Allen can be in MVP talks. That's the same thing like Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, MVP talks. They look really, really dominant during the regular season, and then during playoff time, somehow the Baltimore Ravens collapse.
Mm.
And Detroit, I don't really know how to describe Detroit because they were so dominant 2 years ago.
Even last year
they were still good, but the playoff came and they didn't look.
Yeah, the playoff came and they just choked heavily.
And so it's I understand that it's so hard to repeat this year in and year out. So my biggest question for the Detroit Lions Are they going to stay consistently playoff contenders and possibly be a threat like they were 2 years ago and make it to the NFC Championship game? Or are they back to being the Detroit Lions?
Well, I think they're gonna make it back to playoffs because it looks like they're slowly progressing to a Super Bowl. It's just it's taking long. They're taking the long route. You know, I mean that's what I think. That's why I want to see the Lions in the Super Bowl this year. But yeah, anyway, and yeah. So Super Bowl contenders, SB Nation ranking. The top contenders entering the season are the Philadelphia Eagles. As Levi said, going back to back is pretty hard, and from what I have learned, the Eagles like to skip a year and then go back to the Super Bowl. They party a little too hardy, you know. Baltimore Ravens. I hope they finally can get there. I mean, we've been so close. I hope Lamar can finally have the Super Bowl experience. The Buffalo Bills. Levi definitely wants to see this, but you know.
I personally, as a Chiefs fan, I have no problems with them keeping losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs. But
honestly, if it comes down to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs AFC Championship, or yeah, like it's gonna be celebrity's wife versus celebrity's fiance, you know, or celebrity's husband. I guess I should have said not celebrity's wife. Oh well. And then we finally have the Kansas City Chiefs because you know they're always just there.
Like I said, you gotta dethrone the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, Chiefs are on the top of the totem pole. So you gotta dethrone them to get them out of this talk, or else you can hate them all you want, but they've succeeded the last few years.
And followed by mid-tier contenders like Chargers, Packers, Texans, Rams, Commanders, Lions. At the low end are franchises like the Saints, the Browns, and the Titans. But the Browns, they're gonna go because they got
Sanders.
Yeah.
Because you know Skip Bayless is always right because he is him.
Mm-hmm. Any notes you'd like to add on the Super Bowl contenders?
Nope.
Ooh, some hot topics. Ooh. I'm gonna let you do the Shannon Sharp one first. I'll let you be. I'll be nice. I'll let you add it. I'll let you have it.
So hot topics. So this off season, I gotta find the notes on it. But this off season, there were two big names that got brought up during this offseason. One is Joy Taylor, the other one is Shannon Sharp. They were caught in scandals.
Anyway, Sharp, you know, had a few word exchanges with the basketball player during a Grizzlies and Lakers game, and it turned into, you know, an argument and maybe a brawl. And Ja Morant's dad got involved, and it was fun, but he came back for the third quarter and they shared a hug. Morant's father and him shared a hug. But that's old news. We're going into that.
That was a courtside altercation that he was talking about that happened on January 20th of 2023. Now, let's talk about his 2025 sexual assault lawsuit and settlement. So, in April 2025, a civil lawsuit was filed in Clark County, Nevada by a woman using
Jane Doe as a name.
A pseudonym, Jane Doe, who later is widely believed to be Gabriella Zuniga, a 20-year-old influencer formerly of OnlyFans. The complaint alleged a nearly 2-year rocky consensual relationship with serious accusations including rape, sexual assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Non-consensual sexual contract in October 2024 and January 2025, recording intimate encounters without consent and distributing those records, live streaming a sexual act with another woman on Instagram, live sparking emotional trauma for the plaintiff. Threats of physical violence, including choking and slapping the plaintiff, are exerting controlling behavior. The lawsuit sought at least $50 million in damages. Sharp denied all allegations, calling the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake him down for millions of dollars. He released text exchanges to suggest the relationship was consensual, and an offer of a $10 million settlement surfaced in reports. On July 18, 2025, the case was dismissed with prejudice after an all-out court confidential settlement believed by sources to exceed $10 million, though the exact amount wasn't publicly confirmed. Shortly afterwards, the plaintiff, widely believed to be Gabriela Zuniga, retired from OnlyFans, citing a new chapter ahead. In the wake of the settlement, ESPN terminated Sharp's contract around late July 2025. He had briefly stepped away in April, but this marked the official end of his tenure on First Take.
Well, first off, I am all for women's rights and stuff, but with her being an OnlyFans model, you're kind of asking what you're gonna get.
I mean, I don't know the whole story on this, right? But there, and I haven't seen the texts and everything, but there were texts. There was a whole bunch of communication between these two, and with that being said, is so obviously at some point in time they had a relationship, whether that was boyfriend girlfriend type stuff, whether that was he paid for her services, because I mean, with her being an OnlyFans model, now don't get me wrong, there are OnlyFans models out there who are very conservative and have a strict boundary of rules that they don't cross, they don't do certain things, they don't do this. And then there's other ones on the other end of the spectrum who is a dollar's a dollar at the end of the day. So I don't know which end of the spectrum she sat at, but there was obviously something that went down that caused her to file a report. And I hate seeing articles like this because, and I am not saying she's lying by any means, but when you see somebody go after a big name person over something like this, where it was rape, sexual assault, anything like that, by any means, like I said, don't take that lightly. Do your investigation, do everything else, try to convict the person, put them in jail, because I don't believe in that type of stuff, but I also know there are people out there who will do anything to make a dollar, and if that means ruining somebody's career so they can get rich, those are the people that I don't like. So, like I said, I don't know enough about this story to truly say who's right, who's wrong. But like I said, I feel bad for Shannon Sharp because one, he was put in a bad, either he did something really, really bad and got convicted of it, or B, he was put in a really bad spot and shouldn't have been there. Just my advice to you is in scenarios like this, watch who you hang around, watch who you give money to, and if you're dealing with escorts or anything like that, make it a contract. Mm-hmm. At least at the end of the day is you can say she signed this and he or she signed this and they agreed to this. Then they can throw it out as hearsay. While we are on the topic of sexual assault, another one that was the other one that was in the news was Joy Taylor. In early 2025, Joy Taylor was named in a lawsuit filed by former Fox Sports hairstylist Nushin Faraghi. The complaint alleges that Taylor dismissed Faraghi's reported sexual harassment by then executive Charlie Dixon and may have had romantic relationships with Dixon and Emmanuel Ocho to advance her career, claims Taylor has strongly denied. The suit also includes broader accusations of hostile workplace conditions at Fox Sports. Following the lawsuit and amid declining ratings, FS1 canceled 3 shows. Taylor co-hosted Speak, Breakfast Ball, and The Facility, and did not renew her contract. Her exit marked the end of nearly a decade with the network. You can read that. Man, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm losing my voice.
I see it. Public response and reflection. Taylor broke her silence during a podcast appearance on Cam Newton's Funky Friday, where she addressed the turmoil, including the lawsuit, her FS1 departure, and personal boundaries in relationships. She described her experience as a grief process and emphasized her determination to move forward with resilience. So there you go.
Yeah. So with her deal on Cam Newton is, one, she talked about how hard it was to be a woman in this industry. Two, she also said that looks have a lot of things to do with it too. Is sometimes, like, if you're better looking, you get certain jobs as a woman, and maybe sometimes you don't know your stuff, but you're better looking, so they want you because they think people are going to tune in to you. Unfortunately, with her is, I do believe she actually knew her stuff. I watched some of her not podcasts, but her TV shows. She actually seems like she did a lot of research and everything to make sure she knew what she was talking about. I don't know. It's just, like I said, some of this stuff is
drama.
It's just drama, and like I said, if anybody comes to you about sexual harassment, rape, anything like that, do not, and I repeat, do not blow them off. Take it seriously. Get them the help they need, and let the authorities make the decision on whether they believe it's actually real, or if they don't think there's enough evidence there to convict a person.
Alrighty. Did you take any notes on roster cuts or emerging talent waves? Because I kind of saved that for you, because you're the one that always pays attention to that stuff. I don't. While he's looking at that, I'm going to go into Jalen Hurts' NFL Top 100 drop. Despite a stellar 2024 season, Super Bowl win, and MVP performance, Eagles QB Jalen Hurts fell 4 spots to land at number 19 on the 2025 NFL Top 100 list. This is going to add pressure to him, and so I kind of want to see him overcome this. But do you think he is undervalued? I certainly do. I think he is a great quarterback. Obviously, he's led his team to 2 Super Bowl wins within the last 5 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, 2 in the last 3 years, technically.
Oh, well, yeah, 2 in the last 3 years.
Here's my philosophy on the whole Jalen Hurts, and we will get into this later with like quarterback contracts. But to me, it is so hard to rate a quarterback, because if you look at Jalen Hurts, he has the number one. Last year, he had the number 1 offensive line. He had like the number 2 or 3 wide receiver core. He had like one of the best running backs. He had like a top 5 defense. Yeah, you might be playing quarterback, but if you have the number 1 best offensive line blocking for you, I mean, any quarterback could be back there. And especially having a number 2 wide receiver core, or the second best wide receiver core in the league, anybody back there can look good. You just got to place the ball where they're going to put it. I mean, you got time. You don't have to worry about rushers. You got time. And there's a lot of guys that have done that. Now, if you look at guys, I mean, like a current player in the NFL right now is, you're going to get tired of me saying this, and I realize I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, but like, you look at somebody like Patrick Mahomes, like you can look at other guys like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, stuff like that back in the day, but like right now, a current quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes. A few years ago, he made the Super Bowl. Granted, he got destroyed by Tom Brady and the Bucs, but he made the Super Bowl with second and third string offensive line. Last year, he made the Super Bowl with second and third string wide receivers. To me, it's so hard to grade a quarterback, and to me, yeah, if your team does good, it makes you look good too. But I look at, like, okay, you take Jalen Hurts, right? And you put him in a scenario like what Patrick Mahomes had last year or a couple years ago when he had second and third string offensive linemen blocking for him. Is Jalen Hurts really that good? Is he, like, can he do what Mahomes did and lead his team to a Super Bowl? Like, that's the questions that I have for a lot of quarterbacks. Is if you put up, like, quarterbacks are really, really good. Like, quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, they're really, really good because they have really good players around them. But if you put them in a scenario where you don't have all that talent, are they still going to be able to execute at that high of a level? And as of right now, the only person who has been able to prove that is Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say on that.
Well, since we're talking about QBs, so QB contracts fuel value debate. The quarterback market is booming. Dak Prescott leads the NFL record, 60 million average annual value, or AAV. He's closely followed by Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence at 55 million AAV each. The spike in QB salaries surpassing $3 billion league-wide. Do you think the quarterbacks are making too much? I do. Just so you can be happy, I think, like, they need to take notes like Patrick Mahomes where he doesn't, I don't know how much Patrick makes, but
Dak Prescott makes history. He is now the highest paid quarterback by average annual value, earning $60 million per year. Yeah, you said that. On a 4-year, $240 million contract with $231 million guaranteed. The other elite quarterbacks in the contract race are Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love. They're tied at $55 million a year, all reflecting massive long-term investments. So there is currently a striking trend in the NFL right now. The highest paid quarterbacks haven't won a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott, obviously we said Dak Prescott leads this list despite a modest 2-3 postseason record and no conference championship appearances. Joe Burrow has a single Super Bowl appearance lost, while the rest, Allen, Lawrence, Love, have had little playoff success. And then there was quarterback market's record size doesn't equate to rings. Despite massive contracts, none of the top earning quarterbacks hold Super Bowl titles, a point highlighted by sports analysts like Shannon Sharp. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, despite winning 2 Super Bowls, ranks much lower in annual salary due to the structure of his 10-year deal. But yeah, Mahomes is like at the bottom of this list, and it's crazy because a few years ago he signed the biggest contract they've ever heard for a quarterback, and now he's making like chump change.
Which is, fine. I mean, I'd much rather be hungry to win than be full of money, and not winning.
Yeah.
So, would much rather earn the win. We're going to move on to the male cheerleader spark debate. I kind of know a little bit about this. Pretty much the male cheerleaders are on the rise and people are getting upset because, there's a whole thing about females and males and blah, blah, blah. But Lizzo, the artist, is in total support for it. Levi has more notes and probably numbers too.
Yeah. So as of 2025 NFL season, male cheerleaders have become a notable presence in the league, with 12 teams incorporating men into their cheer squads. This marks a significant evolution from the early days of NFL cheerleading, which traditionally featured exclusively female squads. The journey of male cheerleaders in the NFL began in 1998 when the Baltimore Ravens introduced male stuntmen to their cheerleading squad. This move was followed by the Dallas Cowboys in 2009, who formed the Rhythm and Blue Dancers, the first co-ed dance team in NFL history. Over the years, other teams such as the LA Rams, New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, and Philadelphia Eagles have integrated male dancers into their squads primarily for stunts and dance routines. Well, 2025 marks a milestone year. In 2025 season, the Minnesota Vikings made headlines by adding male cheerleaders Blaze Sheik and Louis Kahn to their squad. Their inclusion was met with both support and criticism, especially after a viral TikTok video featuring them dancing in a woman's bathroom alongside female teammates sparked controversy. Despite the backlash, the Vikings defended their decision, emphasizing the dancer's talent and the team's commitment to inclusivity. As of 2025, the Philadelphia Eagles lead with the highest number of male cheerleaders, reflecting a broader trend of gender inclusivity in NFL cheerleading squads. Other teams with male cheerleaders include the LA Rams, New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Kansas City Chiefs. The inclusion of male cheerleaders in the NFL represents a significant shift towards diversity and inclusivity in professional sports. While challenges and controversies remain, the growth presence of male cheerleaders underscores a broader societal movement towards breaking tradition, gender roles, and embracing a more inclusive representation in sports entertainment.
So, like, the viral TikTok, I mean, typically it's like the women will go and change and then the men will go and change. It was a poor setting to do a dance, I will admit that. But like typically that's how it's ran. Like they take turns. They don't change altogether, you know. So, other than that, I mean, are you in support of it, Levi? Or would you rather see your girls?
First of all, I'm not going to like disclude anybody. If you want to go out there and you're really really good at something and you want to achieve your dreams, go do it. Now, I will admit it was kind of awkward when I saw the first dance routine by like the Minnesota Vikings, and with him out there, like it just felt weird because you're so used to it being girls and or like females, I should say, and it just, I don't know. I mean, my only thing is as long as there's rules and regulations put in place for this stuff, I have no concern about that. Now, if you want to like, I mean, now if you start letting the boys change with the women, like what they tried doing in the I think is, as a college swim team a couple years ago, where they had a male actually. They told the male that he had to change in the women's locker room, or they told the women that he was changing with them, and the women felt uncomfortable. That would be the thing, is like if the women, if in any way, not just a locker room presence, but if any way the females feel uncomfortable with his presence being there, then the organization needs to step in and do something to figure out how to settle it. Like if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna have a problem with this whole thing. Because like I said, as I believe we need to protect women's rights and stuff and everything else. And if they, like I said, if they don't feel comfortable and the organization doesn't do anything about it, then it's going to cause a big giant problem. But if everybody is okay with them being on the dance squad, the cheerleaders are fine with it, the football players are fine with it, the organization's fine with it, then, I mean, maybe not so much football players, but
yeah, they barely ever know.
Yeah.
So now we're finally to the hottest of the topics. Ooh, yeah, baby. So in 2023, football blew up. Why did football blow up? I will tell you why. It blew out of the waters when KC or Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce started dating Taylor Swift. And the Swifties went nutties, you know? And they were like, oh, I gotta start watching football. And well, guess what? NFL blew up. But anyway, recap. That's a recap. So this week, the power couple, literally the power couple, okay, both high on their game in both leagues, decided to get one step closer of tying the knot and got engaged. Oh my goodness! Wow. So that is the hottest of news. Levi may have some more details, but did I cover it all?
You pretty much covered it all. So this is the notes I have. But so after nearly 2 years of dating Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and global pop icon Taylor Swift.
Travis Kelce is marrying Travis Kelce?
Yeah, I know. And global pop icon Taylor Swift are officially engaged. The power couple, who first made headlines during the 2023 NFL season, confirmed the news this week with a private announcement shared to close family and friends. Sources close to the pair say the proposal happened during a quiet getaway after the Chiefs' preseason camp, with Swift sporting a custom ring designed by Kelce himself. So before I get into this, actually, hold on here, I'll just finish this. The engagement marks a high-profile milestone for two of the biggest names in music and sports, blending Super Bowl rings and Grammy wins into one of the most watched relationships of the decade. Fans on both sides, Swifties and Chiefs Kingdom, are already buzzing about a potential fall wedding. All right, so everybody who has seen Taylor Swift's engagement ring is a lot of 50-50 on it. Some people like it, some people don't. You can read whatever you want in the media, but I will defend the ring. Travis Kelce spent a lot of money on this ring. I think it was like a $5 million, $50 million. I don't remember how expensive it was. But Travis Kelce spent a lot of money on it. He personally designed it himself. And before you ask, no, he did not go to Jared's.
What about K?
Nope.
Every kiss begins with K.
Nope.
Dang it.
He went to a local Mon Pa jewelry shop in Kansas City and had them design the ring for her. So, no matter what you think of this ring, I give Travis Kelce a bunch of props because, like I said, he personally designed it and he decided he was going to support a local mom and pop shop instead of a big name company. So that to me means a lot more than looks.
Key departures: the Chiefs traded left guard Joe Thuney. It's Tooney, but there's a TH.
It's Tooney, bro.
Oh my goodness. To the Bears for a 2026 fourth round pick, freeing up the $16 million in cap space. They also traded wide receiver Sky Moore to the 49ers for a 2027 sixth round pick. Additional exits include Justin Reed, safety, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver. Ravens picked him up. Derek Naughty? My goodness.
Derek Naughty.
Yeah, it is Naughty. Okay. Defensive tackle, right? No. Yeah. Initially. And Tershawn Wharton. Yeah. Key additions and moves. Signed right guard Trey Smith to a 4-year, $94 million deal, making him the highest paid guard in the league and anchoring the interior O-lineman. Signed defensive end George Kalaftis. My goodness. To a 4-year, $93 million extension, boosting pass rush consistency.
Jalen Moore.
Oh my goodness. Jalen Moore.
Just keep butchering names over there, buddy.
Offensive
tackle.
It is offensive tackle. Okay. On a 2-year, I'm butchering names, so now I'm screwing up positions. Okay. On a 2-year, $30 million contract, provides swing tackle depth. Drafted offensive tackle Josh Simmons to the first-round pick via trade. While talented, he's recovering from a serious knee injury.
He has actually progressed, and he is probably starting week 1, and he is probably the biggest steal in the NFL draft.
Well, good deal.
Because he was the number 1 left tackle in college football, and due to his knee injury, no one wanted him. And the Chiefs were like, nope, we're taking you. Oh, wait, that sounds familiar too. Because a few years ago, Trey Smith was one of the best guards in college football, and he had blood clots, and no one wanted to deal with his blood clots, and Chiefs were like, nope, come to us. And guess what? Trey Smith's like an all-pro guard for the Chiefs now.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
They also signed running back Elijah Mitchell to strengthen the running game on a modest deal. Considered one of their most impactful offseason additions. Reacquired defensive tackle Derek Nadani in late August in exchange for a conditional 2027 pick to add interior defensive depth. Other roster additions include quarterback Gardner Minshew. You really picked up Minshew?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because the Raiders decided to release him, and he's like, come here, bro.
I knew they released him. I didn't know Chiefs picked him up.
Yeah.
Cornerback Kristen Fulton, wide receiver Robert Tonyan, and several defensive contributors. Strategic analysis and risk, offensive line refiguration, the trade of Tooney and reliance on unproven players like Moore and Simmons is widely seen as the offensive riskiest move. Still retaining Trey Smith and Kalaftis. Yeah, there we go. Provide some stability. Running game overhaul. Mitchell's addition brings fresh legs at running back at a fair price, potentially a smart value move that will give Isaiah Pacheco and whoever else they have now a little breathing time.
So the reason they picked up Mitchell, so last year he dealt with a knee injury, and so the 49ers left it or decided not move on with him. And so the Chiefs acquired him. As of right now, he's kind of on the bottom of the depth chart, but he still made the 53-man roster. And then the other thing is we were talking, so like wide receivers and stuff. So Rashee Rice
he got in trouble.
Yeah, so Rashee Rice is suspended for the first 6 games of the season. So if you look at their roster and their depth chart, there are 8 wide receivers on there, and that is very uncommon and unheard of in the NFL. But one of their wide receivers that are on the 53-man roster could possibly be going to IR, and I don't remember who that was at this moment in time. And then obviously Rashee Rice's suspension, which I find crazy because they dropped the 8-man wide receiver room, and everybody's like, why do you need 8 receivers, so on and so forth. And then the very next day the NFL drops Rashee Rice's suspension, and I'm like, boom, there's your answer.
So depth building across the roster, reacquiring Naughty and signing multiple roles players help balance depth lost through departures. Any final notes you want to add on the Chiefs? Okay. So moving on to my Ravens. Key acquisitions and extensions. Re-signed left tackle Ronnie Stanley, locking him on a 3-year, $60 million deal. Despite a history of injuries, this move shores up a crucial part of the offensive line. Signed Justin, I can never say his name, Madubuike?
Madubuike?
Something. I know I'm butchering it. Like when I hear the announcer say it, I'm like, Yes, that's it. That I love that name. He's a defensive tackle to a massive 4-year, $98 million contract, making him one of the highest paid interior pass rushers and building out a dominant front with Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton.
See, you guys should have just went after Parsons.
I know. I forgot to add those in the notes. That was going to be on
No,
there.
that was why I was going to say roster cuts because I found those notes and
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw those in there.
I knew I was missing something on Hot Topics. I was like, oh well. They drafted safety Malachi Starks to pair with All-Pro Kyle Hamilton, forming a higher promising young safety duo. Added veteran corners DeAndre Hopkins as wide receivers on a 1-year, $5 million deal to provide Lamar Jackson with a reliable target. Another weapon for him.
He's also a great presence to the locker room. You guys have a young wide receiver core. So having a veteran in there. Also, he takes a lot of time outside of his schedule to work with wide receivers. So I believe that is actually going to ultimately help you in the long run.
I'm definitely going to butcher this name, but Chidobe Awazi, a cornerback, and J.R. Alexander, cornerback, both on affordable 1-year contracts to bolster cornerback depth.
Isn't Alexander's girlfriend an Olympian?
I think so.
No, that you.
While he looks that up, they also signed veteran QB Cooper Rush, ensuring experience depth behind Lamar Jackson. That's great. Running back Derrick Henry signed a 2-year, $30 million deal extension to keep the power back in Baltimore's offense. Wide receiver Rashad Bateman also signed a 3-year, $36.75 million contract to extension. Ensures another key pass catching option remains in place. Oh my goodness. Released a retired safety Marcus Williams. That's kind of old. And then kicker Justin Tucker were released. A veteran defensive tackle Michael Pierce retired. It's surely going to be missed. Strategic impact. Offensive line continuity is a clear focus, retaining Stanley and adding Jenkins and Makari helps protect Jackson, which we need. Defensive upgrades with Madubuike and Starks provide playmaking punch up front and back. Veterans like Hopkins enhance skill position versatility with Henry and Bateman extensions, locking in proven performers. Overall, Baltimore's moves earned them a top league-wide offseason grade A from Pro Football Network. So
I was wrong. So the corner that was opposite of Jar Alexander in Green Bay Packers is Jonathan Owens, and
that is right.
And he is married to Simone Biles, which is an Olympian gold medalist.
Gymnast. So any final thoughts before we end this?
So since we quickly hit on it, but didn't really hit on it.
Micah Pearson's got moved to Green Bay with so many millions of dollars. I believe he was underpaid in Cowboy Nation.
Micah Parsons trade. So Micah Parsons trade is what I have the notes under. The Dallas Cowboys traded star pass rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. He signed a 4-year, $188 million deal, $47 million annually, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. In return, Dallas received 2 first-round picks and Pro Bowler Kenny Clark, which is a 10-year veteran defensive tackle. The whole reason Dallas decided to trade Micah Parsons is because the last 3 years they've been ranked 12th in run defense, and they wanted to strengthen their run defense, which I have no problem with you doing that, but when you have a guy who pretty much leads the league, like a top 5 pass rusher, he kind of leads the league in sacks and everything. On the outside, wouldn't you want to think you would want to draft better defensive tackles and interior guys and linebackers to stuff it? Because if you know you have a threat on the outside who's going to get after the quarterback, have the quarterback step up in the pocket and have your linebackers and your defensive tackles do their job. Just a personal thought.
Any other final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, I'm going to start this because I can. That took me all the way to the top. Dang it. I was going to read the conclusion. That's going to wrap up today's episode of the Fruitful 3 Show where we covered the NFL. We hoped you enjoyed our dive into the NFL kickoff and all the excitement this season brings. Also, the off-season drama. Oh my goodness.
Also, if you have any NFL questions that you would like to ask or possibly continue this conversation with us, drop your questions down below and we will do our best to answer them.
Yes, sir. Remember, we're here every week to bring value, insight, and a little extra fruit to your life, whether it's through sports, real-life challenges, or conversations that matter. Next week, Levi is going to be gone, and Eli will be taking his position for next week, probably going into blockbuster movies of this year. So we have entertainment, and then the following week...
Wait, there's still blockbusters around?
Yeah, no, there's no blockbusters, but there's still blockbuster movies.
If you guys have no clue what that is, I'd advise you to look it up.
Yeah, it used to be a huge chain that ran all the nation, and everyone was hyped for it. But I lost my chain of thought now because of you interrupting me.
Sorry, I saw a blockbuster Friday night video clip on Facebook earlier today, and and then you mentioned that.
Oh, the week after we'll finally kick it off into our real value stuff, and we'll have also more guests on this season, hopefully.
Also, if you have a topic that you would like us to cover, drop that down below too, and we will look into it and see if it's something that we're interested in. If we can actually make a full segment out of it, we will do our best. Or if it's short ones and there's several short ones, we might just do a podcast on a bunch of short topics and just random segments here and there to involve you guys.
Yep. And I forgot I added this in, but don't forget, fall is almost here. Stay comfortable and stylish this season with our eco-friendly kind gear at iceentertainment.net/strip, which I showed on the screen already. As you can see, I'm wearing the iKeels CPU, I believe I called it, merch. It's pretty dope. It's really comfortable too, so I'd suggest looking into those. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on the Fruitful 3 Show. Follow us on the Fruitful 3 or the Fruitful 3 Show. Stay fruitful, stay blessed, and peace, love, happiness, and unity.
And enjoy your football season, because last week we covered the Huskers, and this week we covered the NFL. So hopefully your team does good this year, whether it's college or pro.
But anyway, we are out.
Deuces.